Hello, this is Olga Jevtich. I'm a fashion designer in Miss Virginia Senior America 2003. Welcome to Fashion Notes. While it's still cold outside, designers are already showing spring and summer clothing. There is so much news on the runway, and I will have difficult time where to start. Let me talk first about the best and worst of last year. First, the best. Long tunics or sweaters, longer shirt, and cute cami, perfect for layering in every color. I think the length of many skirts is just below the knee, or some even to the knee. Lots of tailor look for work or weekend with a fitted jacket. Crop jacket, short trim jacket, you can dress up or down. Volume. Longer length makes some of the year's best trends. The big style is oversized coats and bubble skirts. Patent leather, shoes and handbags were shiny and fresh, and they can go from day to night. Metallics, they were just about on every accessories, plus nails and eyes. Silver, gold, copper and bronze. I just hope you use it in moderation. Ballet flats, they are very comfortable, practical, in every imaginable color. They are kind between heels and sneakers, which are also casual. Romantic styles, curls in hair, natural creams in makeup, romantic antique jewelry, and clothes made of ruffles, lace, and delicate fabric like silk chiffon. Now, let's talk the worst. Skinny jeans, they are not for everyone. You have to be stick thin, otherwise, on most of us are unflattering. Boots, ankle boots, they usually cut off the ankle and make your legs shorter. Formal shorts, ouch. They move from the backyard to the street. That's ridiculous. Just wear skirt or pants and leave your shorts for the beach. Dress over jeans. I think pairing two pieces of clothing do not belong together. Use tights instead. In our next shows, we will talk about more trends and to add some interesting accessory to your wardrobe that you already have. Now is the time to go shopping. Happy shopping! Now I have a very big treat for you today. We are going to learn a lot. We have a very special guest. Her name is Rosalie Baer. She's an ophthalmologist practicing in Bethesda and Gaithersburg, and she took time from her practice to come here and tell us all how to take care of our eyes and how to look more beautiful. You are going to be surprised how it very easy is to be beautiful and take care of our eyes. Here is Ms. Baird. Dr. Baird, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming in today. And you're going to tell us all the tricks of your trade, how to look very, very pretty. And it's not as used to be difficult. Now I'm sure they have a new, methods, how to do it. And she's going to tell us all about it. Welcome, Ms. Baer, to our show. Please tell us, I know you're an eye surgeon, and you take care of these fluffy, droppy eyes. And most people have it, unfortunately, when we age, everything goes down, so we have to correct it. Is that right? And also, it causes our vision to actually, to be a problem, with the vision because you have a droopy eyes. So how do you take care of it?
Well, it's actually quite easy, Olga, and it's a procedure that you can do under local anesthetic quite simply. As we do age, you get descent of the brow. The brow starts to fall a little bit, and the skin between the brow and the lids gets a little bit, it loses its elasticity and gets a little bit crepey. And so it's quite simple to just take a little bit of the skin. Sometimes there's a bit of prolapsed fat that you take, And doing the upper lids like that is actually a very simple procedure to do in the office with local anesthetic. And as you mentioned, sometimes the lid droops down and starts to cover the pupil. And in that case, it does obstruct your visual field.
Vision.
Yeah, so sometimes insurance will pay for it if it gets to be severe enough.
I see. Do children have a problem, also, something like that?
Children can be born with what we call congenital ptosis, where the lid is just is low because the muscle has not formed properly. And they would, of course, need to be fixed at very early ages, because if the lid is low enough to cover the pupil, it can prevent vision from developing properly.
I see. Well, I was in her office and I met some of her patients, and they were raving about her artistic talents, what she does, like a magician in the office. And everybody was so happy. I was glad to hear that. So, I just invited her to come to the show and to tell everybody what could be done today, so improve the looks and also the vision sometimes. And how do people have to do something before, like, to get some kind of medicine before the surgery? And what is the care during, and also what do they do after surgery?
Preoperatively, there's not too much that they do if they're on aspirin or vitamin E or things like that.
They have to stop?
Stop that usually 2 weeks before.
Because of the bleeding, is that right?
You can bleed a little bit more and have a
see.
lot more bruising. So we do tend to have them stop those kind of the blood thinners.
What ages usually, people come to your office to improve their, appearance?
I would say it's the later 30s to 80, 70, 80. Even much older people will come and just have.
And it's amazing difference, because the eyes are the first point, the focal point of your, face. And first thing what people see is your eyes. And, when you improve, I'm sure the eyes, people will look differently.
Yes, that's true. It is.
And so another thing I hear actually from your patient, not from you, that I was very impressed with, that you are doing inside, so you don't even see the incision under your eyes.
There are some patients that are candidates for that. If they don't have a lot of redundant skin or crepey skin, you can make an incision inside the lid and on the lower lids, that is. And
so you don't actually see anything.
No, you don't see any scar or anything.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
If they have some mild, very fine wrinkles, you could do a peel or do a pass or two with a laser or things like that to just tighten the skin up a little bit. And I think younger patients are probably better candidates. As we get older, we have a little bit more crepey skin, and so it makes sense to just take a spindle of the skin as well.
And then, of course, with the eyeliner, it will, not be noticeable. And how long does it take to heal?
It depends on how much people bruise, and that varies from person to person.
Of course, yeah.
So usually within 5 to 7 days, they can put some concealer on, because on the lower lids I use dissolvable stitches, so they dissolve in about 5 days. So you could start to put some concealer on and maybe start the eyeliner.
So do they have to use the ice?
Ice definitely helps post-operatively. Some people use Arnica montana, something that helps with bruising a little bit. But if they go home and they ice it, for 2 days or so, it helps with the swelling and the bruising.
Does it, while healing, does it, the vision is not, in any way affected? Or not?
When we do the surgery, sometimes we have them put a little antibiotic ointment on the wound. And on the upper lids, it doesn't make too much of a problem with blurry vision, but when you put it on the lower lids, it melts with the body temperature and gets in the eyes and makes the vision blurry sometimes for 5 to 7 days. So we usually have them just put the ointment on at bedtime when they're sleeping, so that when they wake up, it's not so blurry.
And then how often do they have to keep the ice on the
Typically we say maybe 30 minutes on, 30 minutes off for 2 days while they're awake.
I see. Well, as you can see that, these problems are not anymore problems, because they could be corrected very easily. And how long is usually surgery, average, for the average people, to do, let's say, under the eyes?
Under the eyes probably takes from 45, for both of them, maybe 45 minutes to an hour, a little over an hour. It depends on how much you have to do and how much.
Does the
prolapse-
puffy eyes, for example, if people have puffy eyes, is this some kind of fluid there that, or what does it cause the puffy eyes, or it's just the age?
It's usually just, it's an aging change, and there's a membrane that holds the fat pad back. The eye sits in a bony orbit, and it's surrounded by fat. And as we get older, the membrane that holds the fat back stretches, and the fat prolapses forward a bit. So that's what it is, that membrane is stretched. And sometimes in younger people, they have it, the membrane. It's a hereditary thing.
Oh, inherited.
So you can see it in younger people where they just have that bulge there that bothers them.
For example, is it possible to somehow to take that out, with the syringe, and then probably will be very, droopy.
It would,
or
well,
not, or you have to
you
cut
really
it.
need some direct visualization of it, because there are vessels. There's an important muscle that goes through there that if you inadvertently hit, you would get a bleed, or you could have double vision or things like that if you didn't have direct visualization, either from the inside of the eyelid or from the outside.
For example, if people have that kind of surgery today, let's say, and how many days they have to be, in the house, not going to work, the recovery time is, it's average, like a week or less?
Well, I think you're functional really very quickly within a day or two.
Oh, really?
But presentable is up to the person. How, some people don't mind going out with bruises, and some people want to wait till every bruise goes away. But I think typically by 5 to 7 days, you're presentable.
I see. And the swelling will go down?
The swelling goes down always, yes, and the bruising always goes away.
I see.
And sometimes we don't even have to take the fat out. In some cases, we actually put fat in. We take fat from other places and put it in.
Inject it?
Yeah, and it makes it so that you don't have the bulgy fat pad. Is not as obvious.
I see.
But so far, that's more temporary.
What about the Botox and restyling? What do you do that too?
Yes, I do. The Botox has been a great thing for cosmetic surgery, but actually in my field, in oculoplastic surgery, we've been doing it since the 80s for blepharospasm, or people that have spasms around their eyes. And then in the very early 90s, we realized that all the wrinkles went away.
Oh, yeah, that's how they found it.
Yes, it is.
This is good for wrinkles, it was something else.
That's right. And so, we've been doing it really for, since 87, 88, and in the skin for that. And so we know that it's quite safe. And but it's a great rejuvenating.
And how long does it last?
It depends. Some people, 3 months. Some people, it lasts as much as 4 or 5.
Oh, so you have to redo it?
Yes, you do. You have to redo the Botox.
I see. Interesting. Are they the same? Are they improved now? Because everything else, is improving.
Botox.
Botox.
Botox is exactly the same as it was
before.
Yeah,
so
it hasn't changed.
Proof,
one person makes it.
And where do you usually use, to fill up the lines, or where do you use them usually?
The Botox is usually in static muscles, like in the brow or around the eyes and the crow's feet. You can put it around the lips.
Around your mouth and your...
But the deep lines would work much better with Restylane or some other filler.
I see. And they last longer, I understand.
Some of the newer fillers are lasting longer.
Longer.
Right. Then we used to have collagen that lasts 5 or 6 weeks. And
I see. As you can see, you can improve yourself with, just quick visit to the doctor, and with a quick surgery, and you can be fine in just a few days. And I would like to thank you, Miss Dr. Baer, for coming today and showing us all these, easy technique to improve ourselves. And I would like to thank her very much for coming in today. And don't you go away, because I have another interesting guest with the jewelry, and you are going to love her work. Thank you very much, Dr. Baer, for coming to today. I know it was difficult for you, to leave her practice and to tell you all about the new technique, how we improve ourselves and be more beautiful. And thank you. Now, since we had a lady doctor here, and she showed us how to be beautiful, now we are all set to wear beautiful jewelry. With me is a special guest that I met at some craft show. She's so talented. You are going to be surprised what she is doing. Her name is Claire Nicolisian. I think I said correctly, because I think it's easy if you Nick Collision. So I did it right, I think. Anyway, Miss Nick Collision, thank you very much for coming in today, and I met her at a craft show. It's what she is doing is absolutely amazing. And she is going to show us actually the how she does it, because it's absolutely, you cannot imagine how difficult it is in what is turned on absolutely beautiful glass jewelry. She's a glass maker, and she does everything from scratch. She doesn't buy just ready-made beads and just put them together. I think this is more complicated, and more knowledge you have to do this kind of craft, because she is going to demonstrate how she does this craft. Please, Claire, will you tell us how, she brought all kind of tools to show you how, can you show us how you cut the glass? And she's using some kind of torch, she told me, and she makes all these beautiful beads, and everything is done by hand. Unfortunately, these days, by hand, people don't use hand very much. Everything is automatic, and everything is done by machine. And it's a rarity that you find people that do such a beautiful, beautiful thing by hand. Welcome. Please tell us how you do it. This is very interesting. You told me earlier how you cut the glass. All this, what you see on the little table here, is it's a glass sticks. And how do you do it?
Yes, what I do is I import my glass from Italy,
Italy.
actually, and it comes in the form of a glass rod like this, and it is already cut to this length. You can order it in longer lengths and cut it yourself, but
probably
I prefer
probably it's easier to handle in this size.
Exactly. And the basic procedure that I use, I have a torch that is mounted to my workbench, and this torch burns propane and oxygen together, and the oxygen gives the flame, it makes the flame hotter. And
do you have any kind of cutter to cut, or how do you?
I do. I have like basic tile cutters that I can use at times, either to cut this rod or cut a smaller rod. But what I do is I have the torch in front of me, and I have the steel rod called a mandrel, and I'm melting the glass rod in the flame of the torch. And when it's in its molten state, I'm wrapping it around the steel mandrel. And I wrap it until I get the size bead I want. And from there, I can do all kinds of decorations on it. Everything is glass. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull out a very fine, thin stringer from one of the rods of glass, and then I do the little fine decoration with
so you can use
stringer.
Several sticks of glass to make in different colors. So you will see this. If you can, camera can point out to see her glass, and some pieces come in several colors. So use several sticks at a time, to make different designs on it, or you make first one or original color and then you add designs. How do you do it?
I do it both ways, actually. Normally, I start off with one color, which is the base, the core
base color.
of the bead, right? And from there, I do any kind of decoration I want. Besides more glass, you can also add other things to the bead, like silver foil or glass spritz, which is like this, and it's basically just...
it looks like cookie decoration.
Right, exactly, but you wouldn't want to eat it.
I know.
But it's just very small pieces of glass. And you can roll the bead in the frit, and that puts
this is what gives them, an interesting combination of colors.
Right. And then, of course, there's dichroic glass, which is the bright, shiny stuff that everybody loves so much. And you can put that on the bead, too. It's really...
What is your favorite color? People, do they try to match jewelry with the outfit, or do you do some custom work, too?
I do custom work. My personal favorite colors are purples and blues and blacks. But I really try to get away from that because I tend to do so much of it. So I really try to branch out. I like the pinks and the mauves and the peaches.
Yes, that's
colors
very
like
pretty.
that.
And so do you distinguish something, from fall and winter and spring and summer, or doesn't really matter?
Yes, actually, I kind of naturally tend to do warmer, darker colors in the winter months,
I see.
like blacks and ambers and browns. In the summer and spring,
Like a brighter colors.
I like to do the lighter colors, the brighter
I
colors.
see.
Yeah, the spring greens.
So not just jewelry that she makes, she also make the pens. Can you just point one pen and how you do it? Because
Yes.
she also applies some gloss around the pen for interesting, and they come in different color.
I do. I buy the pen blank
Blank.
to start off with, and then I make the individual glass beads on the same size mandrel that the base, the shank of the pen is. And
I see.
I don't know if we can unscrew this.
And also they come in different colors. And also you're going to have having models today. I would like them you to show. Will you please, first model come, and you, Claire, will you please tell us what kind of beads she is wearing, and also in matching bracelet. It's very, very pretty, like a mauves and what kind of beads are these? What she's doing is wearing?
She is wearing a necklace made with one of my favorite type of bead to make, which is a floral. I do love the florals. And I've
Very
made
pretty. Just look there.
I've made a very large hold bead, and then I've done multiple strands of smaller beads that I've twisted together, and then I've put the floral bead over those.
Thank you, Miss Monica. May we see another model, please? This is something on the chain that you did.
This particular bead is, again, a floral bead. However, this is a hollow bead. And
oh, so you can put, on the any kind of wires or chain.
That is more dependent on the size of the hole, but this one, it's not so heavy because it's not solid glass. The way I make the hollow beads is that I start by building up 2 discs on the mandrel.
I see.
About 5/8.
Thank you very much. It's very pretty. It really stand out, especially if you wear something very, very simple.
Right.
And also she makes earrings, and this is interesting thing. You are going to love it. This is, I don't think you will guess what it is. This is a wine stopper. How do you call it?
A wine bottle stopper.
Wine bottle stopper. So now when you put on different bottles, so now you know exactly what's in it.
Which
because
bottle
you know
is
which
yours.
bottle is which. This is really interesting. I've never seen this. This is so interesting. And they also, because they all come in different colors. So you have one for scotch, one for some other drinks, and you're never going to get different drinks if you're drinking something else, which is very interesting. And this is what you have in this box. Those are the pieces that you wear on the chain. Is that right?
Yes, those can be worn on a chain. Those are individual beads that I've made, and that kind of shows the variety of different styles that I like to work in. And most of those will fit over a chain. They have very large holes, meaning that I've used a very large size mandrel.
So you put that in the middle, so it will make the hole.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
May we have a model, please, already? So she has a different necklaces. Tell us what kind of necklaces she's wearing.
She's wearing a necklace that I've made with some beads that I decided to do in a triangular shape.
And it's interesting, yellow and black.
Amber and black,
Amber
yes.
and black.
Is another favorite color combination of mine.
I think it's a very pretty, and it goes with just about any color. Thank you very much, Miss Monica. Now we have some different necklaces. What she's wearing?
She's
blue
yes,
glass.
It's blue, and this one has the dichroic glass on the inside of it, the real sparkly, shiny glass. And then it has the teal glass over it, and then some black stringer.
It's very, very pretty. Well, so, you know, that how did you get interested? Thank you very much. How did you get interested in working with glass?
Well, I was doing glass fusing initially, and then I discovered the glass bead making, and I took a course, and it was history from there. I just loved it. It was very challenging. There is quite a learning curve to it, but I persisted and kept
But I'm
working at
sure
it.
it is difficult to work with the torch. You have to be extremely dangerous, you have to be really, really careful what are you doing. Otherwise, so if you make mistake, can you redo it, for example?
Oh, sure. You could
Oh,
melt the
yeah,
whole
so
thing
it's
down.
not wasted. Oh, that's
Right,
good. I did not know
exactly.
that. So
Right.
if I'm sure you have to be extremely, precision cut. You have to make it to do this jewelry. So, it's not easy, as you can see, how talented she is, that she did, all these different things, from pens to bottle stopper, necklaces, earrings, bracelet, and I don't know what you're going to think next.
Well, I have some magnifying glasses at home that I
Uh-huh.
haven't done yet, bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Well, see, I was guessing, but this is amazing what she's doing, and I hope she comes again. I would like to thank her very much for coming in today to show us all her beautiful stuff. And I hope you'll look for her at some of the craft shows that she's attending. Thank you very much, Claire, for coming in today, and thank you for watching. And let me hear from you for any comments. And see you next time. This is Olga Jevtich reporting for Fashion Notes. It was a pleasure to have you and to be with all these beautiful things. First with the doctor, and then with a jewelry designer, and I'm very, very, impressed with your kind of work. Thank you very much again. It was absolutely lovely, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.